Many of you that are familiar with my channel know that I really enjoy making tools and using them in my boat building. Now, I've produced over 20 videos in the last 6 years of tools that I have made. When I got started, I found a book that really inspired me to build some of those tools. And it was a book by Harry Bryant. So Harry's book, Making Hand Tools, is a simple book that has about 8 different tools in it, and you can actually get this book at the wooden book store from Wooden Boat. So one of the things that he shows in here is making a boat builder's bevel. So Harry goes on to explain here in the foreword about why a boat builder's bevel is a good tool to have. Now he talks about carpenter bevels like this one, where you can lock the mechanism and you can also slide it back and forth and get moving angles from one side to the other. The problem with this is that it's pretty thick, and when you're trying to do lofting or reading off of plans, that it's hard to get an accurate line off of that bevel. So that's why he finds himself, he says, that when he's most of the time, he's reaching in his pocket for this small boat builder's bevel. This is a picture of his actual bevel here. So he's got some very simple plans here on how to do that. So since I was getting ready to prepare for a tool making workshop that I'm holding here in my studio next weekend, I thought that this would be a nice, easy afternoon project that my students could accomplish. So I thought I would build one myself to see how it would come together. So I've made one here out of some stock brass. So take a look on how I made it. To get started making our bevel gauge, I've got 3 things here. I've got a piece of brass that is a 1/2 inch wide. It's 12 inches long, and it's 1/16 of an inch thick. And then I also have 2 nails here, copper nails. This is an 8-penny roofing nail, and this is a 10-penny common copper nail. So the first thing I need to do is to cut this into 3 pieces, each one being 4 inches. So here are my 3 pieces of brass now. So the one that will be the center section and the blade, I need to cut off a little piece as a spacer. And I want to do that on a 45. So I'm going to basically come in about, let's see, I'll come in about a 1/2 inch, like that. And then mark that. So I'm going to go cut this off. After cutting it with a hacksaw, I took both pieces and cleaned them up. Now that I've got these cleaned up a little bit with the file, what I want to do is to rough up the sides of these so that I can put some CA glue and hold them temporarily. So I'm going to use this, have this piece of sandpaper, 220 on a block here. So I'm just going to use that to kind of rough this side up so that it'll have a little something for the glue to bite a little bit. Just doesn't take very much, just to get the surface nice and flat. Okay, now I'm going to do that to the inside of 2 of these. That, and then this one. Right. Now, what I can do is to assemble this. And what I'm going to do is to put a little CA glue on here and glue that piece like that, and then this one on top of there. And then we're going to drill a couple of holes in there and then use a little bit of this copper nail as a rivet in there to hold it together permanently. It's very important that it's all lined up with the bottom one. I'm not too worried about the length because I'm going to trim it off on it with a file. I then center punched for a couple of holes. Now what I want to do is to drill 2 holes in here that are exactly or just a little bit over the size of this 8-penny nail. Now a very handy thing to have is a set of numbered drill bits that I have here. And numbered drill bits go from, this set goes from 60 up to number 1. So 1 being the thickest and 60 being the smallest. They go in very small increments so that it's a lot less than if you were to use just a fractioned drill. So what I'm going to do here is to measure the thickness of this, which is just a little bit under, you can see this, there we go, a little under 1/8. And what I've already discovered is that the number 32 is the very same size. So I'm going to use this drill bit to drill those 2 holes in there. So I got 1 hole drilled all the way through, and the other one, as I started, the brass warmed up enough that the glue came loose. So I've stopped and I've re-glued it so that it's nice and secure now. So what I'm going to do is to cut a little piece of this copper nail off so that I can rivet this hole first before I drill that hole. And I'm going to cut that off with my Dremel tool. Now that I've got it halfway between the 2. See, now I'm going to rivet it over. Now I can drill the other hole in there and put a rivet in it. All right, now that we've got those riveted together, we need to put our blade in there. Now I can see that this is the short side of that little spacer, so it needs to go in like this. So we'll just slide it in there. And I want it to be fairly close to that space in there, so I'm going to push it in. So it's just touching it like that. Now I can find a space in here where I can make my pivot, which would be about right there. And I will center punch that, and then I'll find a drill that fits this 10-penny nail. And I believe in my checking before that the number 24 is the right size. So we'll do that and drill that first. It should be a pretty tight fit. It's pretty good. I want it to be loose enough so that the inside pivot, that when I rivet it, it does not rivet that. Off camera, I enlarged the hole in the blade by several drill bit numbers lower so that it would move freely once riveted. All right, now that I've got it all riveted together, I'm going to open up my blade here, like so. See that it moves freely, but it's got some tension because of that pin in there. Now, so that I'll be able to open it up without using a screwdriver, I'm going to go in here with a file and file sort of a half-mooned little shape like this, so that then I'll be able to push on it with my thumb to get the blade started. So now that I've got that all sorted, the next thing is to file these rivets down so that they're smooth. And then I'm going to file around the end here and round off both ends of the bevel gauge. So now that I've got it all filed down on the edges and the top, I've sanded to a 220 grit. So now what I want to do is take my template here and find the 1/2 inch radius here. Mark that. I'll do the same thing on this side. I'm going to use that pivot point as the center. So I'm going to cut this off like that, and then use my file and round those two ends off. Once I had it all shaped, I took some wet, dry sandpaper and got it wet. I get it wet on this piece of melamine so it won't slide around. I started with 400 grit and then worked up in stages and finally ending with 1000 grit. The final thing I'm going to do here is put a little mother's polish on here. It'll kind of brighten it up. So here's the finished bevel that I made. You can see it came out pretty nice. I'm very happy with it. Works very well. It's got just enough friction that it stays put when you move it. So you can see here where in Harry's book was talking about how it's easy because of the flatness of it to pull lines off of a plan. You can see I have here a plan. These are bevels for a transom. As you can see, because it lays flat, that you can find those lines very easy, as opposed that if there's some thickness to that, then there'd be some ambiguity of where that line might be. So anyway, I'm pretty happy with it. So I know I'm going to get years and years of good use out of it. Now I like that it is small. Its final dimensions, it ends up to be about 3.5 inches long. So it's just really a nice size that it can fit in my pocket and be at the ready whenever I need it. So, as always, thanks for watching. And remember, if you're going to make it beautiful.